Hello and welcome back to another Minecraft tutorial. I'm mostly Darklink, and today what I have for you guys is a honey and honeycomb farm. This is nothing revolutionary or new. These farms have been around for a while, but I'll go ahead and show you guys how to make it in case you aren't aware, and I'll go ahead and go into the details on how it works. As a reminder, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It helps me with growing this channel and allows me to keep making more videos like this for you guys. Alright, so honeycomb farms are fairly simple. As you can see, it is rather small and fairly compact. We only have 5 hives here, but if you want, you can extend it as far as you want in any direction to make as many hives and farm as much as you need. The biggest thing is that with each of these hives, you need to make sure that they are full. So 3 bees, and this block here, which we are using azalea leaves, needs to be a flower. Now, the reason we are using azalea flowers in our farm is because this makes it so it is both Bedrock and Java friendly. If we did the traditional grass block with a flower on top of it, that would only work in Java. Bedrock, we would have to put the grass down below, and where these azalea leaves are would have to be where the flower is, and then we'd have to cage this whole area around. But if we just put azalea leaves, that solves that whole problem, so we don't have to cage anything. We don't have to do a whole bunch of extra steps. As you can see, our bees are spinning around all crazy like already. Now, a quick note about this farm. If you are building it in the overworld, it's only going to operate when the sun is out. Hi, sun. And that is because at night, bees will go to sleep in their hives or the nest. So if you want this farm to be peak efficiency, then you need to build it in the nether or the end. Just keep in mind that building it in the nether or the end, placing these hives or nests, if you want to use nests instead, is going to require some care to make sure the bees don't go flying all over the place. Another quick note about this farm, these slabs here are purely here so that way we could put these hives in without our bees flying everywhere during the day. We can, if we wanted to, replace them with full blocks and it'll work just the same. Now, further things about this farm will just be easier to explain as we build it. So let's go ahead and start building. Okay, so for this tutorial, I have our materials broken out into 2 different chests, and that is for good reason. So this chest here is going to be everything that we need to build the farm that I just showed you. This chest is how many items you're going to need per beehive. So if you want to make a bigger than the 5 beehive version that I have behind me, you're going to need this many of these blocks per beehive. So 1 flowering azalea or flower block, dispenser, 1 hopper, 2 building blocks. I have transparent just because I have front and top so I could look in. You could make these solid blocks if you really wanted to. 6 building blocks for our redstone, 1 slab also for our redstone, 1 comparator, 5 redstone dust. And again, this is what you're going to need per beehive. So if you want to make it bigger, that's what you'll need. And then down here, no matter what size the farm is, you're going to need these. So we got 2 chests for a collection system. This piece of glass here is transparent block. We will need that no matter what. And that's because this is going to sit on top of our chest, and we won't be able to open our chest if it's a full block. And then these 5 transparent blocks here, you can replace these with full blocks if you really wanted to. As I've said multiple times, if you've seen my other tutorials, I like to see in my farms, which is why it's glass. Okay, so to build the one behind me, you're going to need 5 beehives or bee nests with 3 bees each in them. If you don't know how to get beehives or bee nests, there are many different videos on how to do that. If you'd like me to make a video on that, let me know. I can make a separate video on how to go hunt down bee nests, beehives, all that fun stuff. Go over more in depth into the mechanics of bees themselves. Otherwise, next thing we're going to need is our azalea leaves. So since we're doing 5 beehives, we're going to need 5. We'll need 5 dispensers, 5 hoppers, and then these 2 chests are our collection system, our output chests. We're going to need 14 pieces of glass. Now, if we're not going to have the slabs out front like we did before, you'll actually need 16. But if you're going to be placing in the beehives at night, not at night, during the day, sorry, then I suggest 2 slabs instead of 16 glass. And then we'll need 30 building blocks for redstone, another 5 slabs, 5 comparators, and 25 pieces of redstone dust. Alright, now the way I like to start this farm is with the collection system. I like to have my collection system on the left side. Oops. if I could place chests correctly. If you want to expand your farm to the left, you're going to want to put your collection on the right side of the farm, because whichever side we put our chests, we're not going to be able to expand in that direction unless we destroy the chests and move it. I'm lazy, don't want to do that, so we're going to have our collection system on the left, and this is just going to be the way we are not going to expand if we ever expand this. Now next, we're going to take out our hoppers, and we're going to put them into the side of our chest like so. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on top here, I suggest getting some kind of temporary block. Should have mentioned that in the materials. I'm going to use, we'll say, oak planks. These are going to represent our beehives. The reason why we are placing these in right now is because if we place these beehives in, bees are just going to fly around everywhere and it's going to be harder to build. So if we just use a temporary block to substitute our hives and then replace them later, things will be much easier. Now in front of our hoppers, go ahead, put our azalea leaves. If you are doing the dirt with the flower, if you're on Java, where the azalea leaves are, you put your dirt and you put the flower on top. Bedrock, you're going to put the dirt down one and then the flower on top of it. Again, I just recommend using azalea leaves. Much simpler, a lot easier. Next, we're going to want to get out of our redstone stuff. You come around to the back here, and right behind every hopper, we're going to put a block. And then on top of every block facing out, away from our hives, we're going to put a comparator. Now, the way that this works is that we're taking a redstone signal out of our hives or nests. Once a nest gives out a redstone signal of 5, that means it is ready to harvest. Any lower than that, it is not yet ready to harvest. And if we have our dispensers, which are going to be collecting our items, fire off at that point, it's not going to work. So whatever redstone line that we are building out of here, we need to make sure that it has a redstone signal of 5 when it gets to our dispensers that we're going to have up on top of here. That way we can actually collect our honey or honeycomb. So in order to accomplish that, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a block right in front of each of our comparators. So comparators are going into a block. This is going to maintain the redstone signal coming out of the comparator. And then we're going to put another line of blocks down here like so. And then our redstone dust line. So now once we get a redstone signal of 1 coming out of our hives, it'll power this redstone dust, but the power will not go any further. Now we are going to need to get the redstone signal to come up. So that's the next part we're going to be building. Off the side of the dust here, we can place a block. And then just bring it all the way out like so. And then put a piece of redstone dust up here. So now we're at 2. Now this next part, easiest way it's going to be to build this is we're going to put our full blocks here. And then off the full blocks at the top, we're going to put our slabs. Like so. The reason why we're putting slabs here is so it doesn't cut off our redstone signal. You could also use glass. Slabs are cheaper. I like to use them more. So now we can bring the redstone signal up here. So we got 3, 4. Let's fill this all in. And then to get 5, we just need another line of building blocks like so. And we can put redstone dust in there. So now we got 5. So once the hive or nest is full, it will send out a redstone signal and it'll come all the way up to here and then power our dispensers that we're going to have facing down. All right, now to get to the dispensers facing down, easiest way is going to be come to this corner, crouch, shift, and we're going to be able to get the dispenser facing down like so. And then looking at the corner, still holding shift, we could place all of our dispensers and they should all be facing down. All right, now we just need to go ahead and cage our whole area. So go ahead, fill this whole area in like so. Now that's all good to go. Now, if we break those two and replace them with slabs, we can look in and replace all of these with the hives now. Now, if you got baby bees in your hives, just be aware that they can get out through these holes here. So it is always best to place the bees in at night. If you're doing this in the nether or the end, of course, there's no day-night cycle. So just be cautious and aware that your baby bees might get out. All right, so we got at night. We're going to go ahead and replace all of these. Now, each of these should all have 3 bees in them. If you want at this point, after you've replaced them all, you could go ahead and put the full blocks back in. Now, if we just make a day really quick, our bees should all pop out like so. They should all start going crazy on the azalea bushes. And the only thing left is to fill these dispensers. Now, if you're wanting honeycomb, you're going to want to fill your dispensers with shears. And this is going to pretty much, once it's full, the dispenser will fire off, shearing the hive. And then the honeycomb will break off, and it'll break off in the hive itself, which will let it get sucked into our hopper and go into our chest. Now, if we want honey, we need to completely fill this dispenser up with bottles. And that is because what is going on is when the dispenser fires, it fires out the bottle, which sucks up the honey. And since it can't go back in because it's full, the bottle is going to shoot out into the hive and go in. If this isn't full, the honey bottle will come back into the dispenser instead of going down into our hoppers. Now, one thing you can do, if you want this all to be honey, you can have a row of hoppers going across like so, and then maybe a hopper rail line that's going across that's delivering bottles to each of these that keeps it full. Because once this dispenser has dispensed out 64 bottles and this spot is now empty, once this one fires, it's going to fill up with honey, and then these next ones will go. And then again, once this is empty, this one will fire off and fill up like so. Eventually we'll get to a point where all of this is honey and then the farm is no longer working and we have to come clear out the honey. But if you have a way for the bottles to just automatically fill back up, you don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and just fill these all up really quick just because. There. And that's it. Now, as you can see, we already got 2 hives almost full, just a little bit more, and then this dispenser should fire, and we'll get our first bit of honey or honeycomb. Like I said, that's it. I'm Mostly Darklink. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And until next time, see ya.